host of the #1 podcast coming to you live in America. And today we have Mr. Ryan Reger. He's a passionate helper and man of God, family man, Christian man, and above all else, passive teacher, educator, and an author. This man has a heart of gold. Mr. Ryan is passionate about helping people create multiple streams of income so they can live their dreams out and live their best life possible. In his book, Streams of Income, available on Audible and Amazon, Mr. Ryan unpacks the three main online business models that help the reader determine which might be the best fit. Mr. Ryan is also a family man, like I said. He resides all the way in South Lake, Texas, and he's on the show today to give back, to share, and to help us get to a better place. So help me welcome Mr. Ryan Reger coming to the stage. Yay!
Marcus, that was by far the best podcast interview ever. I love your intro and the music and everything. I need to start using StreamYard.
I love StreamYard. StreamYard helps me grow, and it helps me engage, and it helps me animate, right? It helps me bring the visuals to life. People are visual learners. And so thank you for coming to the stage. This is major. We have a celebrity, y'all. I get so excited. I get the shakes. But thank you, Mr. Ryan. Thank you for coming to the show. I appreciate you, sir.
My pleasure. Happy to be on here, and it's my honor to be on. Thanks for asking me. So I'm glad to do it.
And we have a man here in the audience, Mr. Brandon Neely, the man.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon. Catch him on YouTube. You're awesome. And also, y'all, I just want to point out one quick thing. We have a VIP sponsor to the channel, Miss Erica Nicole Holmes. She's a sponsor of the channel. So thank you. We appreciate our sponsors and our loyalty sponsors who dedicate the show. So jumping in, Mr. Ryan, tell us, what is your story? Your resume is extensive, sir. What started you in the path to financial literacy and what you do and give back to everyone?
Well, it starts with my business journey. Probably wasn't financial literate at first, by far from it. So I'm originally from Indiana. Born and raised there. I was a political background and moved to Texas in 2008. I've always had an idea. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Sold things as a kid to schoolmates. Sold G.I. Joes that I bought off of Hasbro. Sold those on eBay back in like 2002 or 3. Started following a guy who's now my really good friend. His name's Jim Cockrum. Got his book called Silent Sales Machine. And that started me on the journey of being an entrepreneur. I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur and have my own business, work for myself. And that opportunity really didn't kind of present itself on a full scale until I moved here to Texas. I didn't know we had lost I was the campaign manager for a campaign in Southern Indiana. We lost that race. So I knew two things were happening. I was certain about two things in my life, as I was going to get married and move here to Texas. My wife's from here. So she and Marcus, feel free to jump in anytime. I want this to serve your audience and be about what you feel like you know your audience better than I do. So feel free to jump in and interject and ask questions that are, what that they're going to want to hear. But we moved to Texas, and my mother-in-law had started, and my mother-in-law and wife had started a furniture business. They were selling wholesale furniture on Craigslist. They were buying it wholesale, selling it on Craigslist here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So when I moved here, I saw what they were doing, and I thought, you know what, this is an opportunity. I don't have a job. I'm looking for one. My wife said, I told her I would love to make this business full time, the Craigslist furniture thing. And she says, no, you need to go get a job. And so I agreed to look for a job at the same time as posting ads on Craigslist. Truth be told, I was spending way more time posting ads on Craigslist because I saw this as my opportunity not to have to go get a regular job. And so this was the November 2008. Started doing that. In 2009, the Lord really blessed this enterprise pretty quickly. Melaine got on, that's my wife's name. She got on the board and saw what was happening and she was helping me out big time posting ads. So we did $250,000 worth of furniture sales in Dallas-Fort Worth, just on Craigslist in 2009. But I was physically driving. We'd post the ads. She was doing a lot of that. I physically drive to that wholesale warehouse, pick up the furniture, deliver it to folks all over the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. A lot of the times people would pick up from our house. I loved it because I was not at a regular job. I could work the hours I wanted to. I was working my rear off, but I was having fun because I was able to do what I wanted to do. I'd love to eat, so I could go visit a local taco shop in between deliveries, or but just having a blast. And we fast forward to where we are today. We had a store for a year, hated that because we couldn't work at home from our pajamas anymore. We then got onto eBay, Amazon, and started shipping furniture all over the country. And then started selling smaller items on Amazon through their Fulfillment by Amazon program, FBA, and phased out furniture over a few year period. And we haven't sold furniture for about 5 or 6 years now. Our business just keeps pivoting and changing. And I really found my love of, which is teaching people. I love taking what I know about the internet and e-commerce and helping people create businesses, because there's been so many students of mine now that have quit their jobs. So I've written books, I've got courses out there regarding starting e-commerce businesses. I have several membership communities, and it's just so fun to see these success stories. So that's by far the best thing about what I do is seeing other people and what they're able to do.
That's huge. That's huge. Multi-talented entrepreneurship in the blood, y'all. In the blood, doing it since diapers. That's what I heard. So, so you already mentioned who inspires you and who you follow in financial, the financial industry, in the financial space. What is your definition of passive income?
Well, Marcus, when I first started, there was nothing passive about anything that I did. It was all really hard work, very much active. So for me, I'd say passive income is something that, you can do either just invest some money in something, maybe in real estate. You've had a lot of really awesome real estate guests on your show where you just say, let's invest in a property. And, maybe there's a fund that you take advantage of, and that just money just grows, and you're not really have to necessarily be a real estate expert. I know with real estate, there's all different ways to get involved in that and be an investor. Some of them are very active, like, as far as flipping houses, that's crazy active, or just here's some money in a fund and, let it grow. So for passive income is either for me personally is either just putting money into it and it just grows, or maybe doing the work one time and then that continues to bring in money, like maybe a book. I've got books that are on Kindle Direct Publishing that continue to sell every month. My first book, Real Wholesale Sources, is an Amazon related book. I wrote that in 2013. I still get money every month from that. It's not a huge stream of income by any means, but it's something I did at once, got a nice boost of income at the beginning, and then it just continues to pay. So either just handing somebody some money and it grows without you having to do much at all or anything, or maybe you do the work once, like a book or a course, and then it just continues to pay dividends in the future. That's what I'd say for me.
Absolutely. That's huge. That's major. That's several. You named off. You gave us more than what we asked for. That's huge. And so real estate, that's my heart, right? And the guests that I've had on the show, yes, they've been dynamic. I had a CEO, a tech CEO, Miss Erica Knowles. I had the Lane shame on me, Lane Kiwa, Kia Cook, Kiwa on the show as well, and he was a dynamic real estate investor, multifaceted across the board, and he's stationed living in Hawaii, running his whole real estate empire virtually. So yes, thank you for that admonishment. That was huge. That's major. To be able to bring all these people to one space. That's what does it for me, is bringing people to a space, one platform, one location where everyone can soak up the knowledge and it doesn't cost them a thing. So that's what does it for me, and that's major. I wanted to ask you this. Which if you had to choose, right, lesser of two evils, would you choose easy money or an easy life?
Oh man, I want both. I haven't had money. My money hasn't come easy, but you know what? It comes easier after you start making some money. It seems, you hear the people that are, millionaires say that it's like the first million was the hardest, and then after that, it's easy. I am not at their level. One day I pray that I will be. But that is the case. The first years of my business were harder. Now it's easier because I'm able to leverage more of what I've already built. So back to your question, I'd say an easy life. That's why I want money anyway. Is money for me is just a tool. It buys freedom. I haven't had a real job since 2008. I would not take any amount of money. There's just literally no amount of money somebody could pay me to go back to a job that I hated, or going back to a cubicle and just living for the weekend. That's not a life at all to me. So for me, an easy life would be that would be better than easy money, in my opinion.
That's huge. That's huge. Give him an applause, y'all. Give him an applause. That's major. That is significant. I choose an easy life all day, every day, any day of the week. Because the life, you only get one. You can get money. You can make $1. You can make plenty of dollars. You can have a room full of dollars, but you only get one life. And so I'm with you.
That's right.
I'm totally with you. I want an easy life. And I'm paused. We are going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. You guys stay tuned for the incredible Mr. Ryan Reger. He is awesome and changing the absolute game. Stay tuned. Good day, podcast listeners. This is your boy, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I wanted to let you guys know that we will be rolling out a new feature and adding a join sponsor button next to the subscriber button here at the bottom of your screen. Once you click the button, it will display 3 membership levels. Gentleman Gentry, which is our entry level, Duke Duchess, which is our season level, and the Emperor and Empress, which is our most sophisticated level, which you will receive unique perks and benefits at each differing level and gain access to our community tab. We will also be sharing polls, upcoming events, and interviews, as well as receive feedback from our sponsors directly. Your support helps me find new and exciting guests to bring to the stage live. Well, in order to get the higher end speakers, it requires, you guessed it, money. So thank you for tuning in to my channel. And if becoming a sponsor sounds good to you, then select the join button below and choose your desired sponsor level. Let's continue to grow and serve the future of generations of men and women to come. Love you guys. Bye. Hey y'all, we are back to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. We have Mr. Ryan Reger, the passive income extraordinaire. Mr. Ryan, thank you for coming to the show. We appreciate you. Thank you, my audience, for tuning in to this very special interview. This is huge. Mr. Ryan, your book touches on, can you show us the book?
Yeah, sure.
This is what it looks like. Streams of income, y'all. Clean, crisp, available on Amazon. Link is in the chat. Please check it out. Get a copy if you can. If you're not, get a copy in the future. But Mr. Ryan, your book touches on 3 of the main online business models that can help people build a passive income. Can you talk about, from a 3,000-foot view, one of those online business platforms? Or maybe you mentioned it earlier. Was it the Amazon?
Yeah, for sure. So for most people, I mean, quickly, there's the C, the E, and the S. The C is like coaching, consulting. E is expanding your audience, becoming like an expert in your niche, like what you're doing. You're building an audience, Marcus, and it's something you're passionate about, you're skilled at, you're knowledgeable about. That's like creating books, courses, podcasts, all that. And then there's the S model, which is selling physical products. I find most people that come to me, the easiest place to start and jump in is the S model, because literally I could teach anybody how to start making money, probably tomorrow. Literally even today, you could find something around your home, list it on Facebook Marketplace, and you have some seed money to start a physical product business. So it doesn't take anything. You literally can start a business on Amazon or eBay with $0, because we all have stuff sitting around our house that we're not using, that somebody else would pay us money for. And so I would say the physical products is the one that we kind of filter most people to, because it's the easiest to get started and make money faster and see that quick win. Whereas like your podcasting, you've been doing this for a while, and it takes some time to build that up and to build an audience. But you could go to a garage sale this weekend, find some stuff, flip it on eBay, and have some money pretty quickly.
That's huge. And that's absolutely true. That's really true. What is your favorite passive income stream?
Wow. For me, gosh, there's so many that I put a list of things that I am involved in that are, most of them are passive. Some took some time to get started, like the writing the books or the creating a course. I'd say the books and the courses, because of the students, the success stories of my students. Because when I take some time I know this is different than like real estate, like a fund where you just put money in and, it makes some money. So it's, there is some work involved at the beginning for this, but the reason it's my favorite is because the benefit and the blessing that I'm able to have on my students, where, there's nothing beats the feeling when somebody sends me an email, says, I quit my job today because of the content in your book or your course. That's the biggest thrill. And so for me, it's definitely the content I put out that people take advantage of, and they work it. It's work. It's passive for me. It wasn't passive at the beginning. Taking that time to create that content, but once it's created, then it lives forever.
Absolutely. That's huge. That's a favorite of mine that I haven't dove into yet, is the book and becoming an author, because I told you before, even offline before the show, it's like I don't have anything to talk about. I'm not that interesting. What would I write about? But I guess there's always something, right? There's always something.
Oh, okay, totally got that. I'd be happy to jump into that with you. I mean, all these interviews you're doing, that's incredible content. You could write a book about some of the interviews you've had. You could take all of the, your main like the 8 passive income. Maybe if you could take passive income and look at like, what are the 10 main passive income buckets, and you could do a chapter on each one, and then you could pull in pieces from all your podcast guests. This is all incredible content that and it's not even content you had to create. So you're able to curate that essentially and put it in that. It would be an awesome book, like wisdom from all of my podcast guests. Wouldn't call it that necessarily, but you have tons of content here that could be put into a book, and it would be very easy for somebody to take. You just get it transcribed, and then you would just have to go in and kind of organize it. And according to, this chapter's this person goes into this chapter. You wouldn't use every interview probably, but you probably could go back over all of your podcast episodes and see a theme throughout. Like of all of the ones that I've done so far, 80% of them have been about this topic. Well, that's going to be your book. And then you just, use all of their content, and that's, and they would be happy to promote it because they're now included in a book. And so it'd be like an honor for me to say, hey, you know what? I was a guest on my friend Marcus Norman's podcast, and he's got a book out and I'm included in the book. That's pretty cool. And so all these podcast guests that you've had have audiences. Some have probably thousands. Some even have hundreds. That's fine. But, they all have Facebook friends and family that they're going to say, hey guys, I'm in this new book. It's going to point back to your book and your podcast. That's going to build your in the same time.
That's true. That's so true. Well, thank you for believing in me, right? And that's what it takes, right? Mentors, coach. He just gave me a mentorship right here on the show, y'all. That's quick. You see how he did that? You see how he broke it down to its finest parts, and then he built me back up. And so that's significant, right? To come up with something. And I never would have thought that to even do that, or if that would be something people would even desire or want or look for.
And that'd be easy to do. I'd be happy to. I know you're going to ask me another question, but I'd be happy to go that direction for a second if you want me to. How easily that would be to do, because most people think writing a book, oh my gosh, that's a major thing, and how am I going to get it published? Well, essentially, KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, makes that crazy easy.
We will. We'll jump right back into. We got one more commercial break, y'all. We got to pay some bills. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Stay with us and stay engaged. We'll see you guys soon.
Are you a local business looking to offer your customers easy access to cash without having to travel miles? We're here to help. At Norman Legacy Investments, we provide free ATMs with free installation that provide a suitable investment for your business. Even better, we offer you some profit sharing and handle everything from start to finish. Just reach out to us today to schedule a free consultation.
Hey guys, we are back to Gentleman Style Podcast Show. We have the incredible Mr. Ryan Reger here talking about passive income streams and promotion of his new book that is helping us get to a better place financially. But he is going to tell us, he's going to dive in and tell us, you said that the building that book was a lot, not as difficult as most people make it seem. Tell us, what makes it so easy?
Sure. So, I mean, obviously the content piece is probably the one that's probably the hardest, just because you got to put that together. You already have that with all of your guests that you've had. You just would have to get that organized in some way that makes sense in a book. But you could totally do that. That's going to take you some time. A lot of people get stuck of, okay, so I got the content, I've written a blog. I've got, if you have a blog, every single one of you that have a blog have a book, because you can repurpose that blog content. If you have a podcast, you could create a book out of that. I think everybody has a book in them. But so once you just have that content ready to go, essentially you use Kindle Direct Publishing. It's an Amazon company, kdp.com. You just go to kdp.amazon.com, set up an account, totally free to even do this. And you can upload. If you can upload a PDF, you can be an author. And now you might want somebody to come in and make it pretty and take your Word document and edit it, proofread it, and to put a cover on it. And you can get virtual assistants to do that for you, or even go on a place like Fiverr or Upwork and have somebody to make it look nice. But once that's done, it's free to upload it. And you might think, okay, so KDP, it's Kindle. It's only an e for a Kindle reading device. And that's not true. They actually have print on demand as well. So Marcus gets his book done. I go on Amazon and purchase that book. I can either purchase the Kindle version and read it electronically, and I don't have to have a Kindle. I can look at it on my phone. You can have an e-reader on your computer and read the e-version. But what if I want to hold that book in my hand? I like getting books. I like writing on them, marking them up. So if I want to do that for his book, I'm going to order one on Amazon. He doesn't have to order thousands of copies and have them in his garage and waiting for me to place that order and ship it to me. Amazon will print that one for me, and they will ship it to me, and he never touches it. And they're going to cut him a check. Electronic deposit in his bank account. But that can happen all over the world. I have people all over the world buying my books, people that I'll never, ever meet. But the fact that it's on Amazon, the eyeballs are already there on Amazon, and it's free to do this. It doesn't cost you anything to have an Amazon KDP account, and you're going to, every single month, Amazon's going to deposit that money from, I don't know if it's the previous month, they hold it like for 30 days, but you can make either, I think, 30% or 70% royalties, depending on what you choose. It's just incredible. It's an easy way for people to be an author. And honestly, guys, you should all have, I think every single person listening, especially if you have a business, you need to have a book, because it's still, even though it's super easy to have a book, the barrier to entry is way lower than it was 30 years ago. It's still something to say I'm a published author, and it's still impressive to people. Say I have a book, and it would just be an awesome other lead magnet for you, Marcus, in your business and what you're trying to build here. And it's a perfect combination with a podcast. But it's just another way for people to consume your content. Not everybody listens to podcasts, watches videos. Some people want to read it, and it's just another opportunity for people to consume the content that you've already created.
I'm doing it. Y'all heard it here. I'm sold. Mr. Ryan sold me on the idea. I got to do it now. It's in the air. It's in the atmosphere. It's in there. So I got to do it now. So thank you, Mr. Ryan, for breaking that down. That's huge, right? Everybody, like you said, the barrier to entry is a lot different. A lot of things have changed in 2020. A lot of things are different. People are working from home. Kids are learning from home. Businesses, Uber is dead. Airbnb's popping. A lot of things have changed, and so now we are in a shift. Everybody's an entrepreneur now. Everybody. The grandma's an entrepreneur. The dog got a Twitter page. The dog has a YouTube channel, and it's trendy, right? So This is the information age, and this is the age of change. So you're absolutely right. That's significant. So thank you for speaking that into me. Thank you for speaking that life into me. Mr. Ryan, tell us. So you broke down how the uniqueness of getting your own book and the companies that you mentioned on Amazon that you can use. How much does a book cost?
So as an author, it's free to upload, and you can set the price if you for your own book. Whenever you publish it, you can make it either free or I think you can charge hundreds of dollars if you want. Most books, like my book on Amazon, is like $11.99. The physical book, just this is a small little book. You can read it in probably 45 minutes, but you can set your own price, and your royalty payment is dependent on the 30 versus 70. It depends on your price range. And I don't know those details. You could go to kdp.amazon.com and look up, like, if I choose this price, I'll be eligible for this royalty or that royalty. But you can make your book free as a lead magnet. It's kind of hard to do that exactly on Amazon because you don't know who's buying it. But there's ways to draw people back to your site through your book. So you could have like a, inside here on your book, when you write it, you could say, for more information, or for more resources, for, special videos, since you're a reader of my book, for, here's a special resource page, and that could link back to your site. And that's something that's in the book. And so that would be a way to kind of get leads from the people that are on Amazon.
That's major. That's huge, right? So in y'all, this is huge, right? Mr. Ryan kept true to what he said, right? He believes in that passive income stream of having that book, having that other source of income. And he was very honest. He was very humble. And he said, hey, it's not much, but it's something that he didn't even have to think about. He woke up and had a sale. He woke up and had a new book, new commissions, new royalty payment. And royalties are continuous. As long as that book remains published and, Amazon doesn't take him down or take him off the site, or he does anything, he will continue to get that indefinitely, in perpetuity. And so that is huge. That's passive stream of income that's coming in without you having to do anything. And you get the notoriety of being an author, being an established author. Doesn't mean you're the number one top bestseller, but the goal for Mr. Ryan, like he mentioned earlier, if you missed that, is he wanted to help. He wanted to teach. He wanted to educate. The Bible says, "Thee who serves the most, where your heart is, that's where your treasure lies." And so, service, right? He's a servant, and he gave back, and he's giving back, and that's why he's successful, and that's why the book sells, and that's why people seek him out, like I did, right? I had to, right? I was just drawn to him, not because of any popularity or status, but because of who he is in God, and that's powerful. Thank you for that, Mr. Ryan. That's significant.
You're welcome.
Mr. Ryan,
welcome.
Yes, sir. What's your favorite way to give back to your community? I think I know, but what's your favorite way?
I feel like I'm already doing that. Like, some people think, giving back means, that you're doing something that you should give back. Like, business is somehow like not noble in and of itself. I feel like I'm already serving my customers. I'm giving, even what I'm doing every single day with my membership communities, providing content that allows them to quit their job. That's what I do for business, but it's also giving back. I love to give financially to my church and charitable organizations and ministries that I care about. Providing jobs for my virtual assistants. I have a large team of virtual assistants in the Philippines, and and they've been hit really hard. This last year is really hard for folks in the Philippines. They're still on lockdown. My folks that live near Manila, they can only go out of their house for essential items. So it's just different there than it is here in the States. And so being able to provide jobs for them that allows them to be at home, they don't have to fight traffic. They make more than they did in their previous jobs, and they're able to be home with their families, and they have a flexible schedule. They can work when they want. To me, that's giving back. And it serves and it's helping my business too. So it's not like, hey, I got my business over here, excuse me. And then, by the way, I'm doing this on the side because I feel bad about what my business is doing. Or, what? Some companies feel like, we're doing over here and we're taking over here. And so we have to give back to our communities because of what we're doing over here. To me, it's all one thing. I'm helping, I'm serving, my business is serving. My business is, I partner with God on my business. I get wisdom from him on how to serve people better. So that was a long answer to your question, and that's not what you said. You said one thing. What's my favorite thing? It's probably just just doing the daily stuff in my business. Serving my students and serving up content that is helping them to become financially free.
Y'all see that passion? The passion came out, y'all. The fire of what he does. That, I love that. That's huge. Thank you. Let's give him another clap, y'all. Another praise. That's huge. Thank you for that, Mr. Ryan. How can my audience, how can we uplift you? How can we connect with you? How can we support the movement, the train with you, sir?
Yeah, well, I'd say I have a podcast as well. It's Streams of Income, but if you can just go to ryanreger.com, you posted the link already earlier. That's kind of like the entrance to my whole business there. You can download, you can actually get the physical copy if you want to. You posted a link on Amazon, but you can get the free ebook by going to ryanreger.com. Not have to pay a thing. Listening to my podcast. But I say just get on my list, get my book, which would get you on my list. And then if you feel like, there's something that I have that can serve you, help you, then you can get into some of the free groups that we have. You don't have to even pay anything. It's not about, I'm not looking to make money here. I mean, it's my business, but it needs to be a win-win. And so if you feel like what I have is a fit for you and it'll help you move forward, I'd love to serve you.
Absolutely. Mr. Ryan, I thank you, sir. I thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come on the Gentleman Style Podcast show.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that so much. Any last words, any tidbits, any last words of advice, anything you wanted to share that I missed?
Mm-hmm. I'd say take action, Marcus. You were telling me about your journey with the podcast and your first episode and how you just, hopefully I'm not telling any of your secrets here, but that first guest, you had not had it all planned out and you kind of you figured it out. You were building the plane as you were flying it. And that's the way I do it too. And for some people that like to plan things out, that may not work so well. But at some point you just have to take action. You can have the best business plan in the world, but if it is just sitting on your hard drive or it's on a piece of paper and you never take any action, it's never going to be anything. You're never going to serve anybody. You're never going to change anybody's life with a business plan that's on a piece of paper in front of you. So just take those steps. Yes, it can be scary, but you know what's so cool about the internet? And this is the best opportunity. This is the best time in the history of the world to be an entrepreneur, because none of these ideas, Marcus, it didn't cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars to start your podcast. Like a business, like think about 30 years ago or 50 years ago. If I said, we're going to start a business together, Marcus, we're going to probably have a business plan. We're going to go to the bank. We're going to be talking to our wives and say, honey, you know what? I hope this works because I just had to liquidate our savings account. It's really scary. You're taking a huge risk. None of the stuff that we do, none of the stuff I teach is risky whatsoever. You can buy products, you can find stuff around your house to sell that costs you nothing. Starting a podcast takes some time, but it really is a very inexpensive venture to get started. Writing a book is free, takes some time, but it's free. So I'd say just take action, guys. Ideas are not the problem. It's implementing those that I see my students have issues with. You can come up with a million ideas, but just take that action like Marcus did on his podcast and look what it's grown to. And a year from now, you could have the same thing. You could have a book written. You could have a course created. You could have a very sizable Amazon business, but you got to take that first step.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Thank you for that. That was right here. That hit right here. I thank you for that, sir. And so, y'all, we gotta let Mr. Ryan go. This man got a business to run. He got an empire to build, and he has more lives to change, and he has more people to serve. But I thank you, brother. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it very much.
My honor, Marcus. Thanks for having me on, my friend. Appreciate it. And seriously, I love business ideas. So if you want to ever chat about how you can, just build out what you've already got doing, what you've got going on, you're building a list from this podcast, but what can that become? You're obviously with the commercial you got, I can see you're going to monetize a podcast that way, but books and courses, all of that could be something that you do. So happy to chat if you ever want to offline and see what else this could become, but just find more ways to serve more people.
That's it. Yes, sir. I'm on it, sir. I got homework, y'all. Y'all heard it here. I got homework to do. So yes. Thank you, Mr. Ryan, and thank you all, my audience, for tuning in to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I hope this message has served you today. I hope it has helped. It has definitely helped me, and I want to say publicly, Mr. Ryan, don't ever quit. Don't ever stop doing what you're doing. We appreciate you very much. Absolutely.
Good stuff.
So
Good
y'all,
stuff.
yes, sir. So y'all, like I always say, like I always end every show, take care of your friends, take care of your family, and take care of business. This is Marcus Stone, Gentleman Style Podcast, and Mr. Ryan Reger, Passive Income Mogul. Signing off. Love you guys. Bye.